All right, guys, welcome to this video. We're going to talk about the different levels of your fitness journey. A lot of you haven't even started step 1 and you're worried about what happens in level 4, right? Like you're waking up every day, not even starting because you're worried about what you're going to do when you get to level 4 instead of working your way up to level 3 and then worrying about level 4. So we're just going to go over the different problems, the different levels, the different problems, and the different solutions to each level. Just to break it down for you, just to make it a little bit easier so that you can identify where you are and you can move on to the next level by learning how to overcome your current level so that you can take on the identity of someone that lives a healthy lifestyle. All right? Because I want you guys to be successful. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Diana. I've been on my fitness journey for the last decade, about 10 years. I've had many different trials and tribulations. I've made so many mistakes on this journey. I've been inconsistent. I've struggled with nutrition. And it took me the first 5 years of my fitness journey of making many, many mistakes to actually lock in and start understanding what living a healthy lifestyle actually looks like. What is this? Hold on, let me just delete this real quick because that's weird. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just regurgitating and summarizing the things that I've learned so that you guys can avoid making the same mistakes as I did and reach your dream body a lot sooner than I did so that it doesn't have to take you 5 years of mistakes. All right, so there are multiple levels to your fitness journey, all with different challenges and with different solutions to those challenges. The focus for each level is different. So we're just going to break this down. I kind of try to make it a little bit of a diagram so that you could kind of piece it together visually, all right? So the first step is going to be getting to the gym and showing up multiple days a week. Just showing up, okay? There are going to be a lot of different excuses that you tell yourself to not show up. Like, I'll just go later today. I'm too tired. I don't know what to wear. I'll just start again on Monday. I already went yesterday. I don't have to go today. We tell ourselves all kinds of different excuses. And a lot of it stems from just not having that accountability for ourselves yet. We're learning that accountability about ourselves and how to hold ourselves accountable. And what telling ourselves these things leads to. When I tell myself I'm too tired, when I tell myself I don't know what to wear, what happens after that? So for me, a lot of it was I'll go later. I would tell myself the day before, or I would plan a few days before that for the week. All right, I'll go this day. And I would wake up and I wouldn't want to go. Yeah, I'm still tired. And then I'd eat breakfast and I'd be like, all right, I'll go after breakfast. And then breakfast is over. Oh, I'll go this afternoon. And I kept pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. And it took many, many months of doing that for me to realize that, okay, when I tell myself that I'm going to go later in the day, I usually don't go. It's bullshit. And you kind of have to tell yourself enough times these excuses to understand what they lead to. And a lot of that for me was, all right, I needed to find a solution to telling myself that I'll go in the afternoon and what that actually meant, okay? Second thing is perfectionism. I won't even try if I can't go for an hour. I woke up late, so I guess I have to skip today. That's another thing we like to tell ourselves, especially in the beginning. I woke up late, I can't go. Instead of going and getting a 30-minute workout or a 45-minute workout, we're just not going to go at all. If we can't show up perfectly, we won't show up at all. And how has that been working for you guys? Because if you're on step 1, I know that you have also struggled with showing up consistently. So when you don't get to work out for that hour, when you don't get to eat perfectly and meal prep all of your food, when everything is not seamless and perfect, you don't even try. All right. So those are the things you need to overcome in the first step, in the first level. So the way to overcome those things is to have a set schedule for gym days. So there's this book called Atomic Habits that I read, and it talks about a study that was done. I'm not entirely sure who did the study, but college students that all participated in a study. There were 3 groups. all of them in which wanted to start living a healthier lifestyle. So they were challenged. The first group was challenged to just document when you show up to the gym. All right. Second group was challenged to document when you go to the gym, and you're going to read and listen to educational and motivational material. The third group, they were told to write down before they went to the gym what days, times, and where they were going to show up to the gym. And the people in the third group doubled their chances of actually showing up just by writing down when, where, what time, what day, what time, and where they were going to go. So have a set schedule for your gym days. If you know you get out early on a Friday, let's say you have a half day on Fridays, for instance, and you tell yourself, all right, after work on Friday, I'm going to go to the gym. All right. That's a point where you can show up. It's making specific times, days, and where you're going to show up. Okay. Write it out for the week if you need to. And if you're starting with 3 days, do 3 days. If you're starting with 4 days, write down 4 days. If you're trying to go 5 days, which I don't recommend for people who are just starting out, but you live your life. I would recommend doing 3 to 4 days to start out. Write down the specific times, days, and where. Okay. Showing up for every gym session. You're going to have to learn how to build some consistency with all of this, all right? There are going to be times where you fall short. There are going to be times where you cave in to these excuses here. I'm too tired. I don't know what to wear. I won't even go if I can't even go for an hour. You are going to cave, and it is not going to be perfect. So, learning how to overcome the excuses that you tell yourself consistently and showing up consistently for every gym session is going to be something that you need to iron out on the first level. All right. And then identifying the excuses you use most. Like I said, you're using these excuses and they all lead to an outcome. These excuses lead to an outcome. When I tell myself I'm going to go to the gym in the afternoon, I don't go. All right. Now I've identified the excuse that I'll go later in the day. It doesn't work for me. I do not go later in the day, period. Okay. Now, once you overcome level 1 and you start showing up consistently and you kind of understand the excuses that you make on a consistent basis, and you have your scheduled gym days, you will move up to level 2, which is learning how to track food and learning about nutrition. Okay. So learning about nutrition is going to be the problem that you're overcoming here. Okay. Understanding the calories and what you eat and becoming consistent in tracking food. So at first it's just learning about food. You're not trying to hit a certain calorie or macro right now. You're just trying to learn about nutrition. Oh, I didn't know that eggs had 6 grams of protein in every egg. I didn't know that, this many ounces of chicken was 24 grams of protein. Just plugging things in, learning how to use the app, and being consistent with doing so that you can understand your nutrition and understand what you eat. This has been something super eye-opening with the people that I have worked with, because as soon as they start tracking their food, before they even have a set macro or calorie goal for the day, I'll talk to them a week into it, because we're just trying to build some consistency with tracking. Hey, what have you learned in this last week? I've learned that every time I go down the bakery aisle at the grocery store, when I go to the grocery store and I grab that pastry or grab that brownie or that donut, it's 800 calories. Yeah, it's 800 calories. I can't believe I was grabbing that every single time I'd go to the store. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? Like one pastry has 800 calories. So you start to see that, and that specific client actually was making weight loss progress just by doing that, because she would see that, she would go to plug something in and see that, and she was instantly turned off. Like, there's no way I'm going to eat this. 800 calories, there's no way. I'm not going to eat that. And it encouraged her to just be a little bit more conscious of what she was doing. All right. So for level 2, you're going to download a calorie tracker app on your phone. I use MyFitnessPal. You use whatever you want, but MyFitnessPal is probably the most popular one and one of the easiest ones to use. Yes, it's free. Okay. 2, you're going to track your food every single day. Every single day. And when you track your food, remember guys, when you go in and you start adding food to your MyFitnessPal, it's going to be saved in your recents. So you only have to search it on the app once, And then every time you eat it, you just have to scroll down. It's already on your screen. You just scroll down and click the plus button next to that food, and it'll go into your daily calorie intake. Okay. And then learning meal prep techniques that work for you. So just learning about cooking, batch cooking. Do you like to batch cook your meat, protein, and veggie, or meat, carb, and veggie, and just eat as you go through the week? Or do you like to meal prep meals, individual meals, pack them up as individual meals, and then just grab and go every day, not even have to think about it for the rest of the week? It's different for every person. Me personally, I like to batch cook my meat, batch cook my vegetables, batch cook my carb source, and then I can mix and match depending on what I'm feeling for the day. If I want to do a little bit of this, if I want to do wraps on this day, if I want to do Mexican style food on this day, whatever I'm craving for that day. It just gives me a little bit more flexibility than planning my meals for the entire week in the beginning, okay? Now, level 3, you're learning how to eat certain calories, eat certain macros, and how to train hard, train with intensity, okay? So this is the part where you're trying to hit a certain calorie goal every single day, certain macro goal every single day. You're starting to understand food, all right? So when you start trying to go for a certain macro, certain calorie goal, you're going to start realizing that it's hard to overcome these cravings. You're having cravings for these calorically dense foods, and it's difficult to overcome. So your goal during phase 3, or level 3, I should say, is learning how to overcome those cravings. Okay? We like to tell ourselves, I'll eat this and then I'll try to eat back on track tomorrow. Or I'll get back on track with my nutrition on Monday. Oh, I've had a long day. I deserve to go get some pizza or Mexican food or whatever you're craving. Oh, I deserve this Cold Stone ice cream. I worked hard today. Whatever excuses you usually use. Another part of that is finding substitutions for high-calorie foods. What other desserts can you eat other than Cold Stone ice cream? Probably some yogurt with honey and fruit on it. It's probably something not 1,000 calories. Finding low-calorie options, Halo Top pints of ice cream. There are many different options, but finding different alternatives for the foods that you generally crave without sabotaging your progress. And then you start to notice in this whole process on this level 3, you become eager to work out. You start getting stoked for it. You're starting to understand it. It's becoming fun, right? In the beginning of anything that we're learning, it's usually not that fun. It kind of sucks. Like, you're still figuring it out. Nothing makes sense. You're throwing a bunch of shit at the wall. You're making a lot of mistakes. You feel like shit most of the time because you're constantly beating yourself up for the mistakes that you're making. So it's not fun in the beginning. It's not fun to suck. Okay, but then you're starting to, I'm kind of understanding food a little bit. Oh, I'm building some muscle. I'm going to start to feel good. I'm leaning out a little bit. I'm getting some definition in a couple of spots. You start to get excited to work out because, every time you go to the gym, when you leave the gym, you feel good. Those endorphins are pumping and it's becoming fun. This is the part where it becomes fun. All right. So how to get past this level is to find your favorites, find your favorite foods, find your favorite exercises, your favorite workouts, find your favorite lower calorie alternatives. You're finding a groove. You're really getting into this whole identity shift, into changing your lifestyle completely from the lifestyle you were living to somebody who's really starting to understand what this is all about. And it's not as difficult anymore because now it's becoming second nature for you. All right. And keep it simple. Same thing every day. Same thing every day, guys. I still eat literally the same breakfast that I've eaten every day for the last 3 years. Different variations. I might have a different carb source. I might have, a tortilla instead of toast, but it's still a carb source with the same amount of carbs. I might have sausage instead of bacon, but it's still the same amount of calories, same amount of protein. So you're finding your favorites and you're keeping it simple. Same thing every single day. All right. Now you are entering level 4, which is flow state, and you really start to embody the identity of a person that lives a healthy lifestyle. Okay. This is the difficult part with the level 4. All right. You got to overcome complacency. Because you're going to tell yourself, I can afford to eat off plan for a few days. I can skip a workout. It won't put me back too far, right? You're starting to tell yourself these things because now you've looked in the mirror and you feel good. You look good. You're confident in your skin. And you'll start to see that you're going to lean on some old excuses that you used to tell yourself, oh, I can eat this ice cream. It's been a long day. You're going to have to overcome the complacency that you feel in those moments, okay? So this is another time where you're experimenting with different foods. So you're going to start experimenting with not only different proteins, but now can I try these different sauces? Can I make more Mexican food variations of this? Can I make Italian food variations of this? Can I make Indian food variations of this? How can I make this in a different style? Just experimenting with different sauces, different foods, different recipes, and finding how to make it to still keep it simple, but not boring, not keeping you complacent. Okay. And then also experimenting more with different types of exercises because you're going to be doing the same thing for an extended period of time. Maybe you want to try a hack squat instead of a leg press. Maybe you want to do something else instead of, barbell curls, whatever your thing is and however you want to switch it up. So this is where you need to remind yourself to maintain your routine. Just maintain your routine. Just keep showing up. Go on cruise control. Continue to show up, continue to push hard, continue to eat the foods that you need to eat that align with your fitness goals, and continue learning and trying new things to keep things interesting enough and challenging yourself just enough, but not to overwhelm you or sabotage your goals. So I hope this helps, guys, kind of break it down into different levels so that you can understand kind of the way that the evolution of learning how to live a healthy lifestyle. It starts with a lot of trial and error in the beginning. And then you go into more trial and error to take it to that next step with nutrition. Showing up to the gym as you just show up and move your body, right? But with nutrition, like you're really overcoming learning how to eat completely different, how to prioritize protein, how to, learn how to track your food. What are calories? What are macros? How do I cook? How do I meal prep? And then you go into eating specific calories, specific macros. You're finding yourself getting excited to work out and really starting to understand everything. And then you get to that level where you're taking on that role of somebody who lives a healthy lifestyle. And now you just got to keep it interesting. Go on cruise control, try new things, try new workouts. And if you guys have any questions at all about this chart, about macros, about workouts, about literally anything, mindset, consistency, whatever, guys, hit me up on Instagram. DM me on Instagram at dianarauer.fit. I'll put it in the description just so you can see it. Look me up, send me a message, and I'll help you in whichever way that I can. I have free resources. I have other YouTube videos. But yeah, guys, I hope this helps you, and I'll see you in the next video.